just even knowing the names of your own body parts, did you have names for your anatomy or boy's anatomy?
It's really weird. They use the Amish name for a prune. The Amish name for a prune is
A vagina?
no, it's gvetch. And so they call their vaginas gvetcha.
Wait, why are we comparing it to a prune?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's what they call it. That's quite literally the only Amish way I know to call it is a gvetch. And then for the boys, their little things are just called pia. De glömmer pia. Like their little peer, like it's what they used to pee. That's what it's called.
Like a peer. Okay.
Yes, or they call it a wiener.
Okay, well that's accurate. That's probably the closest
But it's
closest
so
one.
funny how they use foods. Like they just call them food names.
Wait, I missed the food name. What's the food name for a penis?
A wiener.
Oh, right. Duh. Right. So that's actually really funny.
So those are the only words I knew for private parts until I started reading those books. That's why I was so confused because they were using words like his manhood. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what is that? Like, what are they talking about? And then you look it up in the dictionary, and of course, manhood does not describe that,
Yeah.
really. Or in our dictionary, it didn't.
When's the first time you heard the word penis and vagina?
I think I was maybe 16 or 17 when I first heard the word penis. But China, I was much older. I feel like it was after I had left the Amish that I heard the word
Hmm.
vagina. Because I used to call it a vagina when I first left, because I didn't know how to pronounce the word. And I had to look up the pronunciation.
Yeah. Understandable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The funny thing about this is I had no idea what that was until I read the smut books. And then, but when I was 2011, when I was 8 years old, one time me and my parents were not at home. They had gone to the neighbors or something, going to town or something. And me and my brother accidentally figured out the combination to the safe. We were just playing with it. It was just one of those turn the wheelie ones. Just playing with the wheel. And the combination, we probably like accidentally put in a combination and the safe opened. And
Wow.
mom had a like pregnancy book. It was from Parents' Choice, the Parents' Choice like pregnancy book. I still remember this book specifically. If I saw it to this day, I would know exactly which page to find what. It had very detailed pictures of moms with babies, like like the anatomy of a
Yeah.
person with a baby inside. And so that's how we figured out where babies come from. When I was 8 years old, me and my older brother found that book. That's how I figured out where babies come from. And there was only one like full size, like full page. This book was like 8.5 by 11. One like big picture of a mom with a baby inside that we looked at so much. There were other pictures in it that if I wouldn't have been so young and naive, I would have known, would have taught me more stuff, but I wasn't interested because you couldn't see the anatomy, because you don't, when you're Amish, you don't see the anatomy of people ever unless you sneak into stuff you're not supposed to be in as a kid. Like as adults you have access to it, obviously, but as a kid you never see the anatomy inside of a person. Like they go through they have like the World Book encyclopedias. They will go through there and like cut the anatomies of men out where you can see like the anatomy of a private part of men and women. They will cut that out so the kids can't see it and stuff. They will, it's quite literally, teacher has a job. Every school has these World Book encyclopedia sets. Teacher has a job. Before the kids can have these books, the teacher has to go through every one and cut out the pictures that are too scandalous for kids. So when we found this book when I was 8 years old, I was like, okay, so the baby's inside the mom. That's how it works, because the baby like my youngest sister at the time, right before she was born, mom and dad usually send us to the neighbors while the baby was born, because it was often born at home, not always, but often. So they would send us somewhere else so someone could take care of us while the baby's born. So the last time the youngest sibling, right before we found that book was right before she was born, they were sending us away. And we were 100% certain that they were going to have a baby. So we looked everywhere in the house for this baby. We looked under the furniture. We looked everywhere for this baby, and we couldn't find the baby. We left. We came back. They had a baby. So we just assumed the baby was probably in the barn because we hadn't looked in the barn. But then we found this book, and that kind of explained it. Like, oh boy, the baby's inside the mom. But for some reason, never crossed my mind. Like, how does it get out? Just how never crossed my mind. They did later, after I figured out how they got out. I remembered this. They had a picture of, like, a smaller picture of a woman laying on her back with her legs up, and a doctor like pulling the baby out. That didn't click in my little 8-year-old brain. But once I was 12 years old, it like sometimes bugged me a little bit. I was 12 years old. I was sitting in the bathtub one Saturday evening taking a bath, and I was thinking so hard about this. Like, where does that baby come out? How does it come out? Like, how does that work? So because I was like, if they cut the stomach open, she'll die. She can't come out at the bottom. She can't come out at the top. Like, how does this baby come out? And then all of a sudden, it clicked in my mind that I saw that picture, and I was like, so the baby does come out at the bottom, but how? I didn't know where at the bottom it came out. I just knew it came out at the bottom, and I never knew where it came out until after I left the Amish, and I kind of educated myself a little bit on that stuff. Until then, I did not know that you have one hole for babies and one for urine.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that until after I left the Amish, and kind of educated myself a little bit on that.
Wow. So even your mother, you didn't notice because of the dress, you didn't notice that her belly was growing?
Yes, we noticed. We just had no idea why. We just after we found that book, we knew why. Somehow, most Amish kids, by the time they're teenagers, they figure out that the baby grows inside the mom. And so when they see a pregnant mom, it's pregnancy among the Amish is looked at as they obviously love kids, and they think having kids is their duty and everything, being fruitful. But pregnant women are looked at as shameful.
What?
They hide their pregnancy as best as possible. They are not proud of their pregnancy. Like, they hide it as best as they can, and going out in public with a pregnant belly is not fun for them.